looks like we're recording. Can you see the
Yep.
slides?
Yep.
Okay.
All righty. Get my camera on. All right. Oh, can you go back to the first slide, please, Jerry?
Sure.
All right. All right. Good evening, everybody. We do have one guest, Tom. Thank you for joining us tonight. This is the public meeting for the water main replacement project in the area of North Central to North Chouteau Traffic Way, Northeast 37th Street to Northeast Vivian Road. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Just a couple of housekeeping items to go over before we get started. We are recording this meeting, so just want to give everybody a heads up on that. The recording will be posted on our KC Water website in the next couple of days, once it takes us a couple of days to get it downloaded and then posted up on the website. So if you have any neighbors or need to go back and visit anything, it will be up on the website in a couple of days. During this presentation, if you have any questions at any time, please feel free to raise your hand or add your question to the chat feature. Also, feel free to just interrupt us at any time and ask any questions that you might have. I don't think we have any participants on the phone, but again, feel free to just chime in if you have any questions at any time. Okay, next slide, Jerry. Just a quick introduction of our project team tonight. We do have with us on the call Jeff Martin. He's our Chief Engineering Officer for Water Services. Myself, I'm Melanie Jallett. I'm the Water Distribution Division Head here at KC Water. We also have Jerry Stevens. He's our KC Water Project Manager for the project. And we also have Pedro Collado. He will be our inspector for KC Water. Additionally, not able to join us tonight, we do have Dave Oshel and Greg Maupin there with Leith & Sons. We will go over a little bit of the scheduling and their plans that they have to get this project done. But we do have their contact information later on in the presentation so that if you have any questions for them, you can reach out to them. So to kick us off, I'm going to turn it over to Jeff, and he's going to give us a quick summary on KC Water as a utility provider.
All right, thanks, Melanie. So, and thanks for joining us tonight, Tom, and then anyone who watches this later recorded, appreciate it. So just always like to take a little time to remind everyone that here in KCMO, that KC Water is actually 3 utilities. So we're actually your water utility provider, wastewater utility provider, and your stormwater utility provider. So most people realize the water and the wastewater portion, but the stormwater can be overlooked sometimes. So next slide. So really to serve all 3 of those purposes, really, we have a large number of assets all throughout the city for that. So actually have 1 water treatment plant that treats and supplies all the water for our residents and customers here in KCMO, about 18 pump stations to move that water around, 2,800 miles of pipes to move the water to all the places that it needs to go. On the wastewater side, we actually have 6 wastewater treatment plants that treat all the sewage that flows to them through the about 2,800 miles of sewer pipes there as well. So we actually have 3 treatment plants that are along the Missouri River, and then another 3 that are along the northern city limits, where the flow actually breaks and flows to the north rather than to the south from there. So, and then on the stormwater side, we have another 630 miles of storm sewer pipe in the ground, and then about 13.5 miles of levees throughout the city. So a lot of people don't realize the number of levees that we have. And these are along the Missouri River and along the Blue River and some of the other rivers throughout the city to really help protect those areas from flooding. So, and all 3 of these utilities, kind of the tie together through all 3 of them is the Missouri River. So all water flows to the Missouri River eventually that falls around here, and then that's where we draw a large portion of our drinking water that we treat as well. So it's really a vital asset for the region, and something we want to really continue to maintain, keep clean, and keep usable for everyone going into the future. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Melanie to talk about the water main replacement program.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Next slide, please, Jerry.
Well, just a second here. It says I can give control to you, Melanie, so can you advance it? Something
Yeah.
happened here. I don't know.
I said stop control. That was weird. Now can you advance it?
Hold on.
You might need to unshare and then reshare, Jerry. It might give you back control.
Can you see any slides at all yet?
We still
Just
see the
the
same slide. Did you try stop sharing, Jerry?
I don't even have this minute.
it may have popped up on your laptop too, so you might check that laptop screen and see if it's over there. There you go. You've unshared now.
Can you see that now?
Yep. So go back in the presentation mode and then I'll have to jump to the correct slide. Okay, go back about 3 slides probably. There you go, right there.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks, Jeff, for the overview of the utility services that we provide. I'm going to give a quick update or just background on our water main replacement program. So we're here to talk about a water main replacement project. And so just a little history on the program that funds these projects. KC Water, Jeff kind of mentioned this a little bit, but our distribution system includes about 2,800 miles of water mains. So we do have a pretty large system, and a lot of our mains date back to the 1800s. So we do have some aging infrastructure within our distribution system. Aging infrastructure is not a challenge that's unique to KC Water. This is a nationwide challenge that many utilities face. What is unique to KC Water is we did implement a water main replacement program about 8 years ago. And the goal of this program is to replace about 1% of our infrastructure every year. So this equates to about 28 miles every year that we try to replace within our distribution system. As I mentioned, we are in our 8th year, and to date, we've replaced more than 200 miles within this program. So we're seeing some really good successes with this program. Next slide, Jerry.
Okay, it's kind of, do you have control,
I don't-
Melanie?
No.
Okay. Well,
Try hitting the down arrow and see if it advances the slide for you.
page down and down arrow didn't work.
And can you go to the next slide?
There.
Yep, there we go. All right, thanks, Jerry. So how do we identify these 28 miles, which segments are going to be included in the 28 miles that we replace every year? What we've done is we do have a pretty robust data-driven evaluation of our water main distribution system. So we do have a pretty hefty asset management data set that has a lot of information on our distribution system. It includes information like material, age that the pipe was installed, the number of breaks on the pipe. And so what we've done is we kind of have gathered all of this data, and we've created likelihood and consequence of failure criteria. So we look at the likelihood and consequence of failure of each segment within our distribution system. And from there, we're able to calculate a risk and assign a risk score to each segment. From there, we're able to look at the top 28 riskiest pipe segments, I guess, within the system, and develop projects each year. These projects will be designed and then lead into construction in the subsequent year after the design is complete of the highest risk mains within our system. Each project, each of our water main projects design replacement pipes, and we design the new infrastructure to be zinc coated ductile iron pipe, and it's wrapped in a polyethylene sleeve. And what this does is it really gives the new infrastructure, the new water mains, about 100-year design life. So over the next 100 years, which it should take us about 100 years to replace all of the segments, the 2,800 miles within our system, we should see significantly reduced breaks and failures within the ductile iron pipes that we're replacing. And what that does really is it reduces costs that our customers will see because we have less maintenance and maintenance on those systems. And then we're also able to increase capacity and fire protection. What happens is a lot of these aged pipes, they get tuberculated, or the inside diameter gets filled with deposits and tuberculation that reduces the inside diameter of the pipes. And so by putting in the new cleaned out pipes, we do have the full diameter that we're replacing. So capacity and fire protection are increased. Next slide. And so with that, I'm going to turn over to Jerry, our project manager, and he's going to give specifics of the project that we're talking about tonight.
Okay, this project includes approximately just under 8,000 feet of replacement water main that we're replacing. That's a 6-inch, some 8-inch and 12-inch cast iron pipe, and something happened there again?
No, we're still.
No, you're good. We can still see fine.
Okay. And this is in the area, 3 separate segments, basically areas that we're working in North Central to North Chouteau Traffic Way, and from Northeast 37th Street to Northeast Vivian Road. And the specific streets are there's 1,070 feet of 12-inch water main that we're replacing. These are all cast iron water mains. We're replacing them with ductile, which is a much better material than the cast iron, lasts longer, and it's proven to be much stronger and a very long lasting, plus the fact that we wrap it with poly wrap, and that is to reduce the amount of corrosion, kind of prohibit the corrosion environment that exists sometimes around pipes. And so that is really a good thing as well. Plus there is a zinc coating that is installed on the water mains, and again, that helps with the corrosion environment. In addition to the one on Northeast Chouteau, we are replacing 1,625 feet of 12-inch along Northeast Davidson from Northeast 42nd to Northeast 46th Street. We're also replacing 1,800 feet of 12-inch along Northeast 46 from Northeast Davidson to North Brooklyn Avenue. And we're replacing 1,245 feet of 6-inch water main. And in those areas where we have 6-inch water mains, we normally replace those with 8-inch, and that increases the fire flow protection in each of the areas and allows for better water service to our customers. That 1,200 feet of 6-inch is along North Brooklyn from northeast 45th to northeast 48th. We're also replacing 8-inch, 1,400 feet of 8-inch along northwest Green Tree Lane from northwest 37th to north central. And we're replacing 800 feet of 8-inch water main along north central from northwest Green Tree to northwest 39th Street. Okay, what happens on your block when we're doing your block?
Jerry, we can't see the
We can't see that.
mm-mm.
Okay. Can you see that? No.
We're still seeing the upgrading your water main slide.
Okay.
Jerry, are you not able to advance the slides?
I'm trying a few different things here, but nothing is working. I don't know. It says resume the slideshow, but it's not working.
Do you want to try unsharing your screen again and resharing it? And maybe instead of going into the full mode, just go into the presentation itself. Or do you want to email me the updated presentation, Jerry?
Yeah.
Did you send it to me?
Just a second there.
Appreciate everyone's patience as we work through some difficulties here. So if you have another copy on your older version on your machine, Mel, you could probably pull it up for this portion of the presentation.
Okay, Jerry, I'm gonna take control. I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay.
Can you see that?
We can, yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, go ahead, Jerry.
So this is what happens on your block screen. Is that the one you got there, Melanie? I'm not sure if I'm seeing yours, but anyway. When we start working on your block, we'll have to, first of all, mark the utilities and the contractor, what we call potholing to verify locations and elevations of the water mains and other utilities that are in the area to make sure that he has a clear path to work in. And so he'll be doing that investigations. Also, traffic control plan will be implemented. Every contractor has to have a traffic control plan and approved of how traffic is going to be open, and should be access to everybody's house at all times, except for if they might be excavating in front of the driveway or something like that. But the contractor will be contacting the residents, showing them and alerting them to the fact of when he's going to be coming down their street. He also saw cuts the pavement. It's a narrow excavation trench, and he buries the new pipe in gravel. That is another way of protecting the pipe and keeping some of the corrosion away from the pipe itself. He'll be making a temporary connection, and so he can, first of all, needs to test and disinfect the new water main, make sure it's not leaking, and to make sure that it's disinfected properly. And we, before we put it in service, that may take a week or more. And you'll see a little bit of activity or little activity there as we take a sample, a water sample, to make sure that the disinfection is working, and that is taken to a lab and making sure there's no bacteria in the water main. Both the new and the old water mains will be in service as they transfer customer service lines to the new pipe. If your meter is inside, we'll remove it and install a new one in your yard. And the contractor will work with you there on that to make sure that the time is convenient for you, or make arrangements so that he can do that meter transfer. Then he'll make the permanent connection on the new water main and abandon the old water main and put the new water main in service. And at that point in time, he'll have all the water service lines into your homes ready and activated, and they will be then on the new main that he has put in. Restoration, there'll be like a temporary restoration at first, and then he'll come back and do final grading and some permanent restoration later at a later time. Usually they have a different contractor do that. And so the other part of it is that they have to make sure that if they're going to plant some grass seed or anything like that, that it's going to be a time during the year that it'll be able to grow. And they also will restore any curb, sidewalks, driveways that they have disturbed. And like I said, in season, the lawns will be seeded to bring back the grass. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm just going to chime in here really quickly. One of the things that we like to discuss is Jerry went through the temporary connection, the permanent connection, and the service transfers. There are 3 planned outages as part of this project. And so those 3 times after the contractor lays the pipe and does the temporary connection, and then once they disinfect it and do the permanent connection, then both of those times there will be a planned outage for your water service. And then additionally, when they transfer your service line over to the new water main, there will be a 3rd planned outage. Those outages, the contractor is required to give a minimum 48 hours notice to the customers, so you will be informed of those. Additionally, there could be potential of unplanned outages as well. So as we make these tie-ins and we start disturbing dirt, because some of these mains are older, we may have unforeseen breaks or other outages that we can't give 48 hours notice for, but we do, as soon as we notice those, we do restore those as quickly as possible. So just wanted to give a little bit of an understanding of those outages that you should be expecting.
Yeah, and some other things you can expect. There'll be large equipment in use during that time, creating some noise and dusty conditions in the dry times. They will be controlled, and the contractor is required to control those dusty conditions. And he will be working not late hours or anything like that. So it's going to be not interrupting the residents as least amount as possible. Like Melanie said, there'll be short times of interrupted water service, and you'll be notified ahead of time with door hangers or other means. So be looking for those on your doors, or somebody might be knocking on your door to give you a notice that the water will be shut off at a certain point in time. Some of the things that will be affected are curbs, driveways, and other pavement, and that'll be restored by the KC-Mo Public Works standards. We abide by all their standards for the street pavement and the driveways and sidewalks. So they will be restored to hopefully better than previous conditions. The disturbed established lawn areas will be sodded after work is completed, and as the season permits, other areas seeded. So we will try to restore the lawns as best we can. Ordinary travel routes will be temporarily restricted. Like I said, there'll be a travel permits that the contractor has to get to keep the traffic moving. Normally, he has at least 1 or 2 lanes open, depending on the street, and maybe some flagmen or guys with signs that will be helping with the traffic. This reduces the chance of a water main break in the future. This will be a new water main, like I said, updated to the best possible material that we can use for the water main. And then the fire protection will be enhanced in the neighborhood, especially if you go from a smaller main to a larger main. And like Melanie said, this will be new water mains that will be have no tuberculation inside the water mains. And so the fire protection will be increased and enhanced in the neighborhood as well. Okay, did you go to the next one?
I did. Can you not see that?
Well, I'm kind of doing my own here. The one that shows the house.
Yep.
Yeah, and we will be, this is kind of shows where the meter inside the house in the basement, usually or a lower level, if it's there, we'll be moving it to the outside and putting it in a meter pit. And this allows for easier access in the future for us to get to the water meter and change it or work on it if it's not working properly or something like that. These meters are send a radio signal out that sends the readings to a central location, and that's how billing is done. So we don't have meter readers coming into your house or anything like that anymore. This is all electronic.
Yeah, and I think I'll add, Jerry, one of the things that we're trying to explain is, typically where that curb stop is, what you can see is, typically we try to put our new water mains in, in the roadway, maybe a little bit, it's in the right of way, but basically where this curb stop is, it really is the customer's responsibility for the service line on the private property side of the curb stop. The service line, from the curb stop into the water main, that's where KC Water takes over responsibility. So we're trying to kind of give a little bit of understanding of, customer responsibility versus KC Water responsibility.
Yeah, good point. On the next slide, similar shows where the sewer lateral comes out, goes into the sewer main.
Yeah, great. Hey, Jerry, just keep in mind that I'm using an older presentation that you sent, so you need to be talking off of the slides that I'm showing.
Okay.
I think let's just jump to the schedule and we'll close it out. So
here we go. Can you see that, Jerry? Project sequencing and duration.
Yeah. The duration will be about 8 months or so, and depending on weather and so on, we have like I said, 3 separate locations that'll be starting at the end of December sometime, and be working possibly through August. Again, depending on the contractor's schedule and weather and those types of things. But we'll try to get the project done and expedite the project as best we can. They will start on the water main replacements on North Chouteau, and then move to the other 2 locations depending on their staffing, their crews that they have, the equipment, and which one they think they could go to next. So as I understand, they're going to start with North Chouteau. Other locations, like I said, will be scheduled following completion of the initial replacements, and they will be notifying people ahead of time prior to the time they get there. So just be looking out for the contractor to provide some written notice before he starts work in your neighborhood, and so that he will be able to tell you when he's going to be there. Okay. Anticipated start date, like I said, is in December, probably toward the end of December here. And we had the information came to you through the postcard, but also you can, this presentation is being recorded. You can go to KC Water Projects, find this project for an information sheet. And also Greg Maupin from Leith & Sons, there's his contact information there. Pedro is the KC Water inspector. He does a very fine job. And then my information is there for you to contact me if you have any questions. And I think that's about it. If you have any questions, anybody have any questions, comments?
I have one.
Okay.
You said that they would cut the pavement, make a trench, and the new main would go there. But you also talked about going through yards and removing sidewalks and driveways. So which is it going to be? How do we know?
Well, the water main will be installed out in the street, but the service lines coming into your house will be going through like sidewalks and parking and things like that. That's kind of what I meant there on that part.
So your existing service line will still be reconnected to the new main, basically.
Yes, but you get a new service line from the new water main to the curb box or the pay box that'll shut off that's out in the parking usually.
Okay, and we don't up on Green Tree and Central, there are no city sidewalks. So we don't have that, we don't have that issue.
Okay.
Good.
Good.
Okay, I thought the water main went through the yards.
No, this one will be out in the street.
So some old mains might have gone that way, but all new mains are being done under the pavement.
Well, it depends on where the other utilities are for the most part, where we can put it in. We have, we do have other water mains that exist in the area, and the utilities, other utilities, there's getting to be a lot of utilities in the street right away. So most of them are put in out in the street pavement, but sometimes we go under the sidewalk if that's the only place we can go, or try to find the best place so we don't have to put a lot of bends and connections in our water main to get around all the utilities and that type of thing. So
Certainly, that makes sense.
yeah, and so also the contractor will be digging ahead of where he's installing the water mains to make sure that he knows where the utilities are actually. Even though he gets locates, he'll be actually digging them up ahead of where he's putting the water main in, so he can plan accordingly to miss and make sure that he's clear of the other utilities.
Right, because the maps aren't always 100% correct from
Right.
the other utilities. I know that happens.
Okay, any other questions?
No, sir.
And
Okay,
Jeff, do you see in the chat, I'm not able to see the chat right now. Do you see any other questions in the chat?
Nope, don't have anything from the chat, so I think we're probably good for the group. So.
Okay, perfect. I left this slide up so we have all the contact information for any of the customers. Please feel free to reach out to Pedro or Jerry or Greg. Their contact information is up there if you have any questions. Otherwise, thank you everybody for joining us tonight. We appreciate it, and your patience as we work through some technical difficulties. But please reach out to us if you have any other questions. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Jerry, I think you can stop recording.
Okay.
And then I think work with Michael tomorrow. He'll be able to let you know what there's a specific format. Was it MP3 or MP4 or something, Jeff? I can't remember.
Yep, MP4.
That he'll send you like a link to upload it to. And then I think also if you go into the more actions,